Do you think Tyson still has a lot to give to the heavyweight division?
Yeah, I do think Tyson has a lot to give to the heavyweight because, you know, he's a good boxer, and there's a lot of guys out there that he hasn't boxed, such as the guys due to box. You know, there's a guy, he could box a lot of people out there. But, you know, like he said, you know, who are they? They have to be somebody good for him to box, because he has to have that type of person. He has to have a
Tyson Fury just made the most dangerous decision of his career. After 16 months away from boxing, the Gypsy King could have picked any easy comeback fight to shake off the rust. Instead, he chose Arslanbek Makhmudov, a man who's knocked out 17 opponents and has been hunting for exactly this moment to destroy a legend. And here's what nobody's talking about. Fury's camp knows this could go horribly wrong. They know one mistake, one moment of ring rust, and we could witness the most shocking upset in heavyweight history. But Fury, he's not just confident, he's acting like he's about to put on a masterclass.
He looked good. I think that mentally he's in a good place. Physically, he looked good as well. He's been working well out in Thailand, and I sort of agree with Paulie. I think that he's, you know, he's a massive addition to the heavyweight scene. He has been over the last 10 years, and I think it's good to have him back. You know, we need the characters. We need, look, are the legs...
Look at what's happening behind the scenes in Thailand. Fury's been training like a man possessed, and Spencer Oliver just confirmed what insiders have been whispering for weeks. This isn't the same fighter who looked sluggish in his last few outings. The physique is different. The focus is different. Everything about his preparation screams that he knows exactly what kind of monster he's about to face. But here's where it gets wild. Fury's team could have negotiated for a tune-up fight. They could have picked someone safe to get his timing back. Instead, they're throwing him directly into the fire against a guy who's been specifically training to take his head off.
Anything. I feel like I'm in my prime still. I feel fast, I feel good moving, I feel everything's really good. I've been away in Thailand training, as everybody knows. It's been well documented all over my Instagram for the past however long. I know he's a giant. He's bigger than he says he is. He says he's about 6'4", but I think he's about 6'8". He's a big man. Knockout puncher for 14 or 15 first round KOs. And they say, why did you choose someone so dangerous as Arslanbek Makhmudov? Truth of the matter is, if I fight a pudding, I don't get turned on by that. I have to fight somebody dangerous to make me want to even train.
Spencer Oliver's breakdown reveals something that should terrify every other heavyweight on the planet. Fury isn't just physically ready, he's mentally locked in at a level we haven't seen since his trilogy with Deontay Wilder. The charisma is back, the showmanship is back, but underneath all that entertainment value is a fighter who's genuinely hungry again. And you know what's crazy? Oliver mentioned that the heavyweight division desperately needs Fury's personality and drawing power. That's not just about entertainment, that's about money. Fury moving the needle means bigger purses for everyone, which means every top heavyweight has a financial incentive to see him succeed. But Makhmudov, he doesn't care about any of that. He sees dollar signs and career-making opportunity written all over Fury's face.
Yes, without a doubt. The charisma that he brings, and you see another stadium fight, he brings all this, and he brings excitement. He's got, you know,
Here's what Fury said that should send chills down every opponent's spine. He's not intimidated by size or knockout power. Think about that for a second. This is a man who's faced Wilder's right hand 4 times and lived to tell about it. He's been dropped, he's been hurt, but he's never been broken. Now he's staring down Makhmudov's 17 knockouts and basically laughing. But there's something deeper going on here. Fury's not just confident, he's calculated. His preparation in Thailand isn't about getting back in shape. It's about preparing for war against a specific type of fighter. Every drill, every sparring session, every tactical discussion has been focused on neutralizing raw power with superior boxing IQ.
Tyson Fury has been out of the ring for well over a year now. By the time he gets back in the ring on April the 11th, he will have been out of the ring for well over a year. You're probably talking close to 15, 16 months. It's a long time, especially for someone who is more of a mover, more a boxer. It's not like a pressure fighter who...
Frank Warren just dropped the most important insight about why this fight matters so much for boxing as a whole. Fury isn't just another heavyweight, he's the entire division's meal ticket. His ability to fill stadiums and generate pay-per-view buys keeps the heavyweight scene alive. Without Fury's star power, we're looking at a division that struggles to capture mainstream attention. But here's the terrifying reality Warren won't say out loud. if Makhmudov starches Fury in spectacular fashion, it could actually be the best thing that happens to heavyweight boxing. A new knockout artist taking out the king? That's the kind of story that creates overnight superstars and generates massive interest in what comes next.
Yes, he's a legend, like a big name in boxing, but
But here's where everyone's overlooking a massive problem. Liam Goff brought up the elephant in the room that Fury's camp has been trying to downplay. Ring rust is real, and it's dangerous. 15 to 16 months away from competition isn't just a number. It's muscle memory degrading. It's timing being off by split seconds that separate knockouts from near misses. Fury's entire fighting style depends on reflexes, footwork, and split-second decision-making. Those are exactly the skills that deteriorate fastest during long layoffs. And against someone like Makhmudov, being even slightly off your timing could mean lights out. The scariest part? Fury's team knows this, but they're betting everything on his experience and adaptability to overcome the rust factor. Now listen to what Makhmudov said that changes everything about this fight. He's not starstruck. He's not intimidated by Fury's accomplishments or his mind games. This is a young, hungry fighter who sees Fury as nothing more than the biggest name on his hit list. That's terrifying for Fury because his psychological warfare has been half his advantage throughout his career. He breaks opponents mentally before they ever step in the ring. But Makhmudov, he's treating this like any other fight, which means Fury's going to have to rely purely on his boxing skills without the mental edge he's used to having. And here's the kicker: Makhmudov's been specifically preparing for this moment. While Fury was away dealing with personal issues and contract negotiations, Makhmudov was in the gym dreaming about this exact opportunity. Here's what's really happening that nobody wants to admit. This fight is make or break for both men's legacies, but for completely different reasons. Fury wins, and he cements his status as one of the greatest heavyweights ever, proving he can come back from extended layoffs and handle dangerous opponents. But if Makhmudov wins, we're looking at the birth of a new heavyweight superstar and the potential end of Fury's reign at the top. The stakes couldn't be higher, and both fighters know it. Fury's using his speed, footwork, and ring IQ to stay ahead, while Makhmudov is hunting for that one perfect shot that changes everything. The mental composure and experience give Fury the edge on paper, but paper doesn't absorb punches. So there you have it. The most dangerous comeback fight in recent heavyweight history is set for April 11th, and it's going to determine the future direction of the entire division. Fury's betting his legacy on his ability to overcome ring rust and neutralize a knockout artist who's been specifically preparing to end his career. This isn't just about boxing anymore. It's about whether experience and skill can overcome youth and hunger when everything is on the line. And honestly, I think we're about to witness either the most impressive comeback performance of Fury's career or the most shocking upset in heavyweight boxing. So here's my question for you, drop it in the comments. Does Fury's ring rust cost him everything, or does his experience carry him to another legendary performance? If this breakdown got you hyped for what could be the fight of the year, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because April 11th is going to be absolutely insane. I'll see you in the next one. But wait, because there's something absolutely crucial that everyone's missing about this matchup, and it could completely change how you view this fight. Makhmudov isn't just some random knockout artist looking for his big break. This guy has been studying Fury's footage obsessively, and his team has been building a game plan specifically designed to exploit the weaknesses that showed up in Fury's last few performances. Remember how Fury looked against Francis Ngannou. Remember those moments where his reflexes seemed just a fraction slower than we're used to seeing. Makhmudov's team noticed that too, and they've been drilling combinations specifically designed to capitalize on those microseconds of hesitation. Here's where this gets really interesting. Fury's training camp in Thailand isn't just about getting back in fighting shape, it's about completely reinventing his approach to heavyweight boxing. Sources close to his team are saying he's been working with new sparring partners who specifically mimic Makhmudov's style. But here's the crazy part: Makhmudov has been doing the exact same thing. He's brought in tall, mobile southpaws to simulate Fury's movement patterns. This isn't just two fighters preparing for a fight anymore. This is two chess masters who have been studying each other's games for months, each trying to stay one step ahead of the other's preparation. The level of strategic thinking going into this fight is unlike anything we've seen in recent heavyweight matchups. And let's talk about something that's flying completely under the radar. The financial implications of this fight are absolutely staggering. Fury's comeback isn't just about proving he's still the best heavyweight in the world. His earning potential over the next 3 years depends entirely on how he looks on April 11th. We're talking about potential superfights with Anthony Joshua, Oleksandr Usyk, and whoever emerges as the next big threat in the division. Those fights are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but only if Fury looks like the dominant force we remember. If he struggles with Makhmudov, if he looks slow or vulnerable, those megafights disappear overnight. The pressure on Fury isn't just about winning, it's about winning in spectacular fashion to prove he's still a draw. But here's what's keeping Fury's team up at night, and it has nothing to do with Makhmudov's power. It's the referee situation. Different referees have vastly different tolerances for Fury's inside fighting, his clinching, and his ability to rough up opponents. Some refs let Fury get away with the kind of physical, grinding style that neutralizes power punchers. Others are quick to separate fighters and keep the action in the center of the ring where knockout artists thrive. The referee assignment for this fight could literally determine the outcome, and both camps are lobbying hard behind the scenes to get someone who favors their fighter's style. This is the kind of political maneuvering that casual fans never see, but it can be the difference between victory and disaster. Now here's something absolutely wild that just came to light. Makhmudov's knockout ratio isn't just impressive, it's historically significant. 17 knockouts in 19 professional fights puts him in rare company among modern heavyweights. But here's what the numbers don't tell you. The way he's getting these knockouts is evolving. His early career knockouts came from raw power and aggression. His recent knockouts show tactical improvement, better timing, and more sophisticated setups. This isn't just a puncher anymore. This is a puncher who's learning to box. That evolution makes him infinitely more dangerous against someone like Fury, who's built his career on being too smart and too technical for pure power punchers to figure out. The sparring footage that's leaked from both camps tells a fascinating story that nobody's talking about. Fury's been working almost exclusively with shorter, powerful fighters who press forward and try to rough him up on the inside. Every drill, every combination, every defensive sequence has been designed around dealing with constant pressure from a knockout artist. Meanwhile, Makhmudov's sparring sessions show him working almost exclusively on cutting off the ring against mobile opponents. His footwork has improved dramatically, and his ability to trap fighters against the ropes has become surgical. Both fighters are preparing for a specific version of each other, but the question is, which version shows up on fight night? Here's what's really fascinating about the psychological aspect of this matchup. Fury's entire career has been built on being the smartest guy in the room, the fighter who can solve any puzzle his opponents present. But Makhmudov represents a different kind of challenge. This isn't a puzzle to be solved. It's raw danger that needs to be survived and overcome. Fury can't outthink a right hand that travels at the speed of lightning. He can't use psychological warfare against someone who genuinely doesn't care about his reputation or his accomplishments. For the first time in years, Fury is going to have to rely primarily on his physical skills rather than his mental advantages, and that's a terrifying proposition after such a long layoff. The betting markets are telling a story that should concern everyone in Fury's camp. Despite being the massive favorite on paper, the smart money has been quietly shifting toward Makhmudov in recent weeks. Professional bettors and boxing insiders are seeing something in the preparation, the physical condition, or the circumstances that makes them think this fight is much closer than the public realizes. When sharp money moves against the obvious favorite, it usually means there's inside information suggesting the favorite has problems that aren't visible to casual observers. Whether that's lingering effects from the Ngannou fight, issues in training camp, or concerns about Fury's motivation level, something has the experts worried. But here's where Fury's experience becomes his greatest weapon, and it's not what you think. Everyone talks about his ring IQ and his ability to adapt mid-fight, but his real advantage is his understanding of how to manage moments of crisis. Every great fighter faces moments in big fights where everything goes wrong. They get hurt, they get knocked down, or they find themselves in positions where lesser fighters would panic and get finished. Fury's been in those moments against Wilder, against White, against every dangerous opponent he's faced. He knows how to survive when survival seems impossible, and he knows how to turn desperate moments into opportunities for victory. Makhmudov, for all his knockout power, has never faced adversity at this level. He's never been in a fight where his opponent weathered his best shots and came back stronger. The training footage coming out of Thailand is revealing something that changes everything we thought we knew about Fury's mindset. This isn't a fighter who's coming back because he misses the spotlight or needs the money. This is a fighter who's genuinely angry about how his last few performances were received and is determined to prove that reports of his decline were greatly exaggerated. Angry Fury is a different animal than confident Fury or showboating Fury. Angry Fury is the version that destroyed Wilder in their rematch, the version that systematically broke down White, and the version that made Derek Chisora look like an amateur. If that's the Fury who shows up on April 11th, Makhmudov's power advantage becomes irrelevant because he'll be dealing with a fighter who's operating on pure spite and determination. The medical reports from both fighters' recent examinations reveal details that could impact this fight in ways nobody's discussing. Fury's layoff wasn't just about contract negotiations and personal issues. There were legitimate concerns about cumulative damage from his wars with Wilder and the punishment he absorbed against other opponents. The extended break allowed his body to heal from injuries that were affecting his performance without him or his team publicly acknowledging them. Fresh Fury with a fully healed body could be significantly more dangerous than the version we saw struggling with ring rust in recent outings. Meanwhile, Makhmudov's medical reports show a fighter in absolutely pristine condition with no signs of the hand problems or shoulder issues that often plague heavy-handed fighters. Here's something that's going to shock casual fans, but makes perfect sense to boxing insiders. Fury's team has been studying film not just of Makhmudov's professional fights, but of his amateur career, his sparring sessions, and even his training footage from when he was developing as a prospect. They've identified specific patterns in how he sets up his power shots, particular combinations he favors when he's trying to close the show, and defensive habits he falls into when opponents pressure him. This level of preparation is unprecedented for what's supposed to be a comeback fight, and it shows how seriously Fury's team is taking this threat. They know that underestimating Makhmudov's skill level could be a career-ending mistake. The venue selection for this fight is creating advantages and disadvantages that could determine the outcome. The crowd noise, the ring size, the lighting, even the temperature in the arena, all of these factors favor different fighting styles. Fury has always thrived in hostile environments where he can feed off the energy and use the crowd's reaction to fuel his performance. But Makhmudov comes from a background where he's used to fighting in front of crowds that want to see him fail. The atmospheric pressure of a big fight could either elevate both fighters to their best performances or cause one of them to tighten up and fight conservatively when aggression is needed. What's really wild is how this fight is already changing the landscape of future heavyweight matchups regardless of who wins. If Fury looks spectacular, suddenly every major promoter is going to be lining up with offers for the biggest fights possible. Joshua Usyk, even potential crossover fights with MMA stars. Everything becomes possible when Fury proves he's still the king. But if Makhmudov pulls off the upset, we're looking at a completely different heavyweight division. New stars emerge, old guard fighters suddenly become vulnerable, and the entire pecking order gets reshuffled overnight. The ripple effects of April 11th are going to be felt throughout boxing for years to come, and both fighters understand that they're not just fighting for themselves, they're fighting for the direction of their sport.